What else about me do you find alarming?
No, I'm just saying it's alarming. That's it.
Okay. What else about my views or things you've heard me say or my attitudes or my life approach?
Oh, my girl can't go out. That's fucking alarming as shit.
My girl can't go out?
Yeah.
Okay, let's discuss this. All right, cool. So I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
Cool.
But if my girl were to say I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends. Now, I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway, and that's fine. And then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me. And I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit. And she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Fair enough. Okay.
We'll talk about insecurity when she's sucking dick.
Okay, then according to your mindset and how you see things then, and your high levels of security apparently, right? If your girl was to go to the club, right? And I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
That's fear.
No, it's not fear. What it is?
Okay, what is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain. I'm a territorial.
Guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you why.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual, and I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy, and please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy, because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say, you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right, or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it?
That's a good analogy,
I won't, because
bro.
that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up to my chick, because no one can steal my chick, because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people were attempted. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property. That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off with someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did. If most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything, and is just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you would have this experience. If most of you did were 0 IQ, brain frozen. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the real world, because you don't park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. So it's not a fucking, it's not the danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right? Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting, but you also have to understand because we are different individuals living very different lives. And I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them, because I don't know them. But you have to understand that I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track, and live a life of spoiled princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, and I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again, because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise because you are young. Women are malleable. And when I say they're malleable, people think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures, and they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes, the same
anybody's in that regard. Everybody's malleable in that regard with the people that they're with, people that are around. People are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
correct. So women are malleable. So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration. If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do. That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that you've yet.
You treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos. Saying to a woman
that is what you compare. That is your example. You compare the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating. And you are
right.
I'm sorry, it's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use it.
Yeah,
I will take any woman I could date. Any woman you've ever, I don't know who your girlfriends are. I don't have a clue. But any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. And that's because who I am. The woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, that is heavily dependent on the man she is with.
So what makes you above her then? The money, the status, the top G? What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, then what makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club if you're equal?
I am responsible for her, and I have authority.
Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
I'm responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now, before
how do you know that? All the girls. There's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's because I know you're going to try and go down the sexist argument. Let's reverse it.
Well, I mean, you bait it. Okay, listen. You have driven this conversation since the beginning. I gave you I gave you the initial roots argument or point, and you are driving yourself there.
Cool.
And so you are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
I said, what makes you above her? And you're not giving me an answer.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So what is responsibility?
Okay, because you can't share responsibility because nothing in life is 50-50. There's always, even if it's 49%, 51%.
Okay. Then why you?
Me, because I'm me. This is the exact point. Now let's reverse it, which I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds. There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do, and she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss. That is happened. It's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. In every relationship, someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships, and I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her. Carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was. I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right? Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Who, right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes away right now. The door opens behind you. We see a little glint of light right behind you now. And he says, hey, Tate, get the fuck off the computer, drinking his bullshit with his stupid cigar, talking to that fucking double on your computer, right? That could happen, right? According to you. No, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't happen, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because you said some girl being a multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men and they should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked. A man can try on with them and lose his temper. They can get attacked. Whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion, female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat them. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc. Trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man. I have certain domains in which I rule.
Okay, then in this line of argument with the things that you just said, I'm trying to go one by one. So I have to be selective about how I'm doing this. Okay, what you're saying, since you brought up the fact that you can get spiked, is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavier than your drink, you drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about that. It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety. She has
so she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks? You send your girl to the club.
What? Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
Oh, a team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative. Enjoy. Hope you have a long relationship.
Yo.
Well, my relationship will be long and fulfilling. I can't say the same to when you treat people like this. I mean,
saying that you don't go to the club without me, we'll go together. Oh, I'm the worst man in the world. Oh no, don't take your girl to the VIP table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes. I'll tell you what, bro. 87 professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect your chick. Send her to the club with me.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there. Okay, if your drink gets spiked, you're dropping.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is about the respect that she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility over her and the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that. Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison. I'm about to make another comparison that you can use.
Yeah.
Use my analogies against me. You said
I have no other material. You said attack. You said approach me by going one-to-one and going with specifics. What else is there than the things that you're feeding me that I can use? Am I supposed to speak in hieroglyphs or some shit? Cool. What am I supposed to do? I have to.
Completely. So I compared women to cars, so that makes me a bad man. I'm about to compare women to children. Oh no, I'm a really bad man. So let's do the same thing, right? So when you have a child, let's say you have a 6 or 7 year old kid, they push the boundaries. They try and see what they can get away with until eventually you come and say, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you leave a child completely unchecked, they're going to do a bunch of crazy shit, right? There has to be a point they come up against the wall where the parents say, no, I'm older than you. I'm more responsible than you. I'm wiser than you. I know things you don't know. Do not stick your fingers in the plug socket. That's part of being an adult. It's part of being a parent. It's the same thing as being a man for a woman. If you're a man with a woman, you're likely older, a lot older, so you're wiser by default. You're probably, if you're a successful man, more successful than her. You've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen more violence than she has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're very, very qualified to come along and say...
Why do you intend that you're probably more successful than she is?
Because you're likely older. I mean, I don't know. There's not many 18-year-old girls who are going to be more successful than a 35-year-old man. Maybe. But
why are you dating somebody a little younger?
Okay, 25-year-old. Doesn't matter. Men date younger women on average because young women like older men on average.
That's
and they
true.
like that because
that
they respect
true.
older men because they respect the authority. I don't think any of the things I'm saying here are largely contested. I think everyone agrees that women like...
I mean, not only are they largely contested, they are mostly contested. I think most people disagree with you on this. I mean, most rational beings, except for the people that are completely delusional or off the tracks, unhinged. The problem that you think is that you're saying that men, it's impossible for them to be pushed into the right directions or helped like a children from women. The girls can't come in and say, stop doing this, stop doing that. They can't do that to you or any other guys because they're women. Which, what the fuck is that? That's just so illogical.
Some men need women to guide them. That's fine. I'm not one of those men.
Also, now some. Earlier it was all, now it's some. We're going down the list now. We're trying to... What's up?
It was overall. I gave a scenario in which many men are mothered by their girlfriends, and I said in said scenario, the woman has authority and responsibility, and she can prevent him from going to the club. And then I also said in every single relationship, somebody has responsibility and authority. Nothing is 50-50. And then I also said, for the same reason I would not allow someone to break into my car, no matter how good the locks are, I will not put my woman in a scenario where people are going to try and take her from me because I find it disrespectful and she shouldn't want to be there. That's what I said. That's all the things I said. Now, if you have a relationship in which you want your girl to go out to the club as much as she wants, that's your prerogative. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. I will tell you it's going to end badly for you. You may disagree with me, but it will. If you keep letting your girl go to the club, it's going to end badly, not just because she's going to get stolen, but because she's not going to respect you as a man. She's going to say, this man lets me go out and get drunk with other men every fucking night. What kind of dude do I have?
That is your definition of what the respect that she owes you is, not the definition of what that relationships overall. That's how that transaction goes. Like, I think this is... I mean, you're being obtuse. The problem with this is that you're being obtuse about it, right? Relationship, you have to be... Okay, why are you in a relationship in the first place? Why are you with a girl, right? Because you want to. Because you want to be fulfilled. You want to have a relationship, and you want to feel like you're in something, right? You're committed. Why do you date? Tell us. Why do you date?
Absolutely, for the same reason everybody dates, for fulfillment.
Okay, so a lot of points, let's say like a polygon. A lot of things make you fulfilled, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. It makes it a nice polygon, right?
Correct.
Right. So, in my opinion, this is what the foundation of what the relationship is. For me to be fully fulfilled, I want the person I'm with, my partner, to that one of prerequisite is that they're fulfilled in all these ways. It needs to match. For me to match, it's almost like if she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled, and we are together like that, right?
Yep.
And what you're saying is that what fulfills a person, they have to sacrifice and lose out on some of these points for you to feel fulfilled. How does it make any sense whatsoever? That is completely and utterly illogical because they have to make compromises and sacrifices that overall will lack fulfillment and will make you feel less fulfilled, and you will end up with a raw loss overall in this exchange.
I'm gonna let y'all finish this conversation, but I just want to say I got to dip. Got a flight to catch. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Appreciate you, X.
Later, brother.
Los. See
you, man. Take it, man.
Right, appreciate you.
You understand it?
Your argument. I understand your argument. Your argument is that if the woman has to make compromises to be with me, she's not completely fulfilled, which will stop me being completely fulfilled.
Yeah. I like that you're listening a lot. I like that. Thank you.
But you make compromises to be with her. You don't fuck other women. You do that.
That is not a... Okay. When you talk about the framework of a good, stable, committed relationship, okay, fucking other girls is not a compromise. It's pre-intended.
Going to the club with a bunch of dudes is pre-intended. It's all about the parameters you set. If you're going to sit here and say that I don't want her to have to change a single thing about her life because of
the difference,
then you shouldn't have to change anything about your life.
Agreed, Andrew. That would be the perspective, as if I felt like I'm losing something by her going to the club, except I don't. Why? Because she doesn't get anything out of going to the club in those ways. That takes away from my relationships because I'm number one. You can't replace me. They see me as the perfect fit. They love me. Right? I don't lose anything by them going to see number 2s and 3s and 50s and 100s. They have the best at home. I don't lose shit. You intend that when your girls go to the club, you're scared that they're going to lose something. The other people around at the club are better than you because you, Andrew, you're not number one in their heart. You're number 3. And they might get number 2 over there or number 1. And you're scared of that. Why are you scared of that? I don't get that. It makes no sense at all.
We've already discussed the fear argument. We've already discussed about the fact that no matter how good the locks are, I wouldn't put it in a high crime area. We've already discussed this. I understand you're trying to use the fact that trying to paint me as insecure and fearful.
No.
That's incorrect.
Like I said, use an argument against me. I want you to dissect my argument. Sorry to cutting you off. You're good at letting me cut you off. Okay? I want you to dissect what I said, right? At the beginning or in the middle. And I want you to just counter-argue it. What I'm saying is that I don't make a sacrifice in that relationship by, I want to fuck other girls. Bro, I want to fuck that one girl. I don't lose out on like other girls. I don't want these girls. I want that one. She's my number 1. I'm number 1. I don't lose out and make a compromise that, no, I can't fuck other girls that I like less and love less. Otherwise, I would date these girls or that girl. So I'm not losing on that potential. The same way she doesn't lose out on you. Does that make sense? It's logical.
Not really, but if let me blow your mind. Let's change the quick trajectory. Let me blow your mind. If your woman was truly fulfilled by you and she truly loved you, she wouldn't give a fuck about club. She wouldn't even want to go.
Oh God,
that's the truth. I don't have to argue with my women about going to the club.
That is so true, bro.
Then she's not allowed to go to the bowling alley then. or
they will come
laser tag.
They'll come to me and say, "Can I go to the club with all my friends?" And say, "Not without me." She'll say, "Okay, baby," and that's it. It's really not an argument. It's not hard because she's fulfilled in other ways. Now, if she didn't respect me and she wasn't fulfilled in other ways, then of course she'd argue. Then that club would become important. But to her,
then can you? Okay, I understand. Then can she go to laser tag?
Sure, she can go laser tag. I don't give a fuck. It's no problem. But it's not about that. It's about the scenario.
What if she sees an absolute lion Chad way more than at the club, some big, tough, muscular guy that looks better than you and is more like, then what?
Good. Then fine.
Then you park your Lambo in the hood, and your Lambo it's getting taken. Now you say good. So the club is parked there. Laser tag parking is good. How?
Incorrect. Because laser tag is not invented for people to fuck. The only reason clubs even exist. The only reason clubs even exist. And I'll tell you why. The basic mechanics of clubs. I know a little bit about it because I own a couple. The basic mechanics of clubs is that you fill them with girls. Girls have no money. Men come, spend ridiculous amounts of money on alcohol, which is massively overpriced to try and attract females. Yes. If you get a club with no females in it, no men even go. The whole point of a nightclub is to fuck. So I will not send my woman who is with me to the fucking ground. She can go to Walmart, but she ain't going to go to a place which is specifically designed and set up for her to get intoxicated and famoosed. And not because I think she will get famoosed, because she is too respectful for me, too respectful of me to go to a scenario in which she would be seen. Even, listen, bro, you may disagree with me. I'll tell you something.
Well, I'm like I said, your arguments fall on its face because, I mean, my woman, she obeys me, right? She has friends and feels fulfilled at doing social activities, and her friends all want to go to the club. It's some girl's birthday, and yes, she's single. That one is vulnerable. It's a vulnerable prey. Okay, that girl. Okay, but they're all going to the club together, right? My girl can't tag along. No, she can't. She cannot partake. She cannot partake in social activities that make her feel fulfilled socially. She can't because that club is designed for people to fuck, right? So she can't go in there or close to it, right? Dude, so many more places are designed to fuck, and more people get fuck out of them. So how does that make sense?
It's your prerogative what you want to do inside of your own relationship. I'm only explaining.
It's not a prerogative. I want you to explain that.
Sure, I will explain. Again, no problem. If firstly you just gave a very particular scenario. So now
that's important because if you say all, then it has to be all the specifics.
Say my girl when I say my girl doesn't go clubbing, I mean she doesn't go clubbing, right? I mean she does not go out all the weekend. She ain't partying anytime she wants. She doesn't go clubbing. Let's imagine there's a particular birthday for a girl, and this girl is a girl I know, and I think she's a pretty good influence, and she's not a bad girl, and they all want to go to the club, and I drop her off and I pick her up. Then that is a scenario in which it possibly could happen once a year.
Then why do you say all? Then if you agree on a scenario, then why do you say all? See, this is something that you always do that when you're vocal about your mindset that irritates me a little bit, right? Not personally, but just overall hearing that is that when you say alls, right, and you're very, very hard about that when you're alone on camera, right, and you don't get interviewed or kind of argued. It's a monologue, not a dialogue. You say all. I'm not such a lion. All. But when you come here and we talk about it, you say, but this scenario, but that one, but this one, but that one. How does that make sense, bro?
Because there are scenarios. Obviously, there are scenarios. Exceptions don't disprove rules. When I say my woman doesn't go clubbing, I mean she does not on the weekends be out clubbing. She does not message me, I'm at the club tonight, see you tomorrow. She does not do that. You're giving me a very particular set of scenarios. Maybe once if her friend had a birthday, maybe, yeah, perhaps. What we're talking about is different things. And I'm telling you why. You're trying to disprove me using exceptions in very, very unique scenarios. I'm sitting here saying people are born with two eyes. And you're saying, no, some people are born with one eye. Yeah, that's true. But in general, when you say how many eyes does someone have, you say two. Now, if someone asks me how many eyes does someone have, and I say two, and you were to run along and go, I know someone with one eye, that does not make me fucking wrong. So you're just trying to use exceptions to disprove rules, and it doesn't work that way.
Damn, he's good.
Any woman who's with me, in general, if you were to ask her, does she go clubbing? The answer would be no. I'm Andrew's girl. I don't go to clubs without Andrew. Now, are there very particular scenarios in which perhaps if a movie premiere and she's A-list and she has to go to a club for 15 minutes with security and I pick her up? Yeah, sure. That's not the point we're fucking making. Any woman who's with me doesn't go to the club. And the most important point of all of this is she doesn't want to. I don't have to stop her.
Okay.
She wants to go.
I'm not, this is an understatement, but understatements, literally. You could literally win bike races backwards with how fucking hard you're backpedaling. It's insane the way that you revert your main arguments and go down them and start disintegrating them. The way you do I've never seen that before, man. I don't know how you can even justify this. You say never go clubbing, and then There's exceptions. There are exceptions that actually happen most of the time.
Should I ask you about guy best friend?
That we went out clubbing, it was for a reason. It had a reason behind it. It had something behind it, right? That wasn't, I'm going to go out to see some other options and start fucking, right? There's so many ways and reasons why people go to the club.
Think, bro. Like,
it's a social gathering. There's a lot of people.
Sure.
It's fun. It's energetic. End of story.
Sure. Well, if I had to make a binary decision, if I were to come along and say that no exceptions are all are allowed, either she's allowed to go to the club whenever she wants and go to all those birthdays, or never go to the club and miss all those birthdays, and she would never go to the club and she would never go to a single fucking birthday and she would not complain. My women do not want to go to the club without me. This is being discussed as if I have to stop them. It's just, these are the parameters for being with me. You don't go to the club without me. Got it. Cool. Done.